I spent $200 on a Game Boy clone that recently entered the scene. This is the ModRetro Chromatic, and by the end of this video, you should know if this is worth it for you. One thing that ModRetro is definitely getting right is the packaging. You can tell they spent a lot of time trying to capture a nostalgic feel with their design. I mean, doesn't that doodle art just look like something you'd see on your elementary school desk? So this version of the ModRetro Chromatic came with the ModRetro Chromatic console itself. It also came with a remastered ModRetro Tetris game and 3 ModRetro AA batteries. So what are the features of this console? First of all, the shell is made out of magnesium alloy, which I don't really know much about magnesium alloy, but supposedly you can run your car over this console and it should be okay. I'm personally not going to try that, but you can if you want to. And this is supposedly the world's only backlit display that has the accurate 160 by 144 pixel density. And if you didn't know, that is the exact pixel density for the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. Now, if you have a nearly indestructible shell, the lens also needs to be super durable. And it is, because this is a sapphire crystal lens, which is super scratch resistant, so you don't have to worry much about getting your display riddled with a bunch of those annoying little scratches. And something else that's really cool is this thing has a link port so that you can play multiplayer, and this worm light actually works. Now, there are some pretty major drawbacks with this ModRetro Chromatic, and you might have picked up on a few of them. One which you might have noticed is that it takes 3 AA batteries, but I believe they're going to update it so that you can eventually use a rechargeable battery mod on this console. But for now, we just have to use the regular old batteries. And one thing that I've noticed that really kind of bugs me is the texture on the A and B buttons is different than all of the other buttons, which to me is just kind of strange. And probably the biggest drawback for me personally is that it can only play original Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and ModRetro cartridges. So hopefully ModRetro will launch a new console that is compatible with Game Boy Advance and maybe some other types of cartridges. But is it really worth the $200 price tag? Well, if the pixel accuracy and color is super important to you, then maybe so. And if you're a collector, I think this is a pretty cool piece. And if you're worried about getting scratches on your display, and if you plan to throw it around, this thing should be able to hold up. But if those factors are not really important to you, then I think it would be worth spending a little bit more to get the analog pocket. That way you have a much wider range of games that you can play, and the display is larger.